technology and information management in the world. Thank you.
I call the honourable member Andrew Williams.
Mr Speaker, I take a call on behalf of New Zealand First on the Local Government Public Libraries Amendment Bill. And this is a very interesting bill, Mr Speaker, because the public libraries of this country are institutions in their own right. We all know of some of the great public libraries located around New Zealand, and we have grown up with those public libraries in our towns, in our villages, in our cities, in our districts, and they very much are the centre of many communities. As this bill does say at the beginning, public libraries play an important role in our communities by helping New Zealanders to achieve access to information and entertainment. They also provide important community hubs. That is very much the case, Mr Speaker, and at this point in time New Zealand First will be supporting this bill because we feel that it does require scrutiny and it does need to go through to committee stage because we are very concerned about what is happening in local government in terms of the four social well-beings being taken away by this government, in terms of the social, cultural, economic and environmental well-beings. And therefore, if this government is going to focus local authorities simply on rates, rubbish and sewerage and take away many of the social and cultural responsibilities, then perhaps our libraries could be threatened in the future. Not to say that they would be immediately, but they could be threatened in the future, and that would be a sad day for many communities in New Zealand. I can recall an instance which we had on the North Shore where our Birkenhead Library unfortunately got demolished before it had a building and resource consent to replace it by some error in the bureaucratic system. And unfortunately the lovely old library that had outlived its usefulness and was leaking like a sieve, the roof was leaking like a sieve. It was a good story, Simon, if you listen to it.
But when member will use another member's full name.
The Honourable Simon Bridges. But when that library was demolished and was out of use for nearly 3 years, and they had to use some temporary premises, it actually did affect the whole community in that the community lost its heart and soul. It lost its library, it lost its meeting point, it lost the place where so many people came together. And it did illustrate the fact that while many people perhaps see libraries who are not used to using libraries, see them as a cost or a burden on ratepayers, to a large percentage of the population, they are actually an important community venue, and it is somewhere where they do go to genuinely get enjoyment from reading, but also to get information, important information for their own educational purposes. And when that library was replaced in Birkenhead after about 3 or 4 years, it just absolutely rejuvenated that community by having that heart and soul back in the community. And so it is important that those libraries are freely accessible and are free to those communities and are able to be accessed without charges. We do have some reservations about this bill in terms of we do understand that councils have difficulties necessarily providing DVDs and CDs and all that sort of thing because they can be expensive and they can be costly to stock, maintain and replace. And therefore, if this goes through to committee stage, we certainly would be looking for more information on that because perhaps there is an appropriate nominal cost to try and cover those sorts of electronic fees for the likes of DVDs and CDs. Also, in terms of the internet, again, we would not want to see libraries putting out of business local businesses who provide internet paid internet services. So there has to be a little bit of a compromise there, a little bit of give and take, that sure, you want your citizens to have access to the internet, but it certainly shouldn't be in competition with local businesses. So, Mr Speaker, we certainly would like the government to support this bill, give it an opportunity to go through, let it be thrashed out, and let the people of New Zealand have their say on how they feel public libraries should be treated in this country in the future. Thank you.
I call the honourable member Maggie Barry.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. Light bulbs, shower heads, compulsion in the shower.